Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of SparkleDart. So, here's a little bit of a disclaimer. This is the longest and hardest, that's a dick joke, so be sure to like the video because I made a dick joke right away. It's the longest and hardest burps every episode, too. Oh my god, I should just start over now, but I'm not going to because I'm a trooper. This level is the longest and hardest level dick joke in the game. And because of that, it might take... this one level alone might take me more than 12 minutes to beat. Which is my standard runtime, 12 minutes. If you didn't know, if you have like some sort of mental impairment that keeps you from seeing things like that. So I'm just prefacing this video with the fact that it might be a little bit longer than other videos, or it might be the only fucking episode of this particular game where I only play one level. That's just the way it goes, you know? I don't make the rules, I merely enforce them. Like a police officer addicted to cocaine. I'm a running blue... I was gonna just like keep talking and hope that a joke would come out of my mouth. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So let's tell an actual joke. Okay, I might have told this before on the show. I don't know. It's hard to remember because I don't watch my own content because I'm not a fucking narcissist. Anyways, here's a joke for you. There was once a man who tried to sell me a coffin. A coffin, I thought. That's the last thing I need. But and another joke for you. I told the Spanish woman who shaved off her eyebrows that it didn't look very good. Okay, let me rephrase that first. The Spanish woman at work shaved off her eyebrows and drew them on. I didn't think it looked very good, so I told her that... Okay, I gotta rephrase that joke again. Bear with me here. Bear with me. Rawr! Haha, that's a bear. I told the Spanish woman at work that her drawn-on eyebrows didn't look very good. She looked surprised. There you go. That's the joke. I got the joke. Nailed it right on the head. It only took 3 tries. But you know what? I'm a trooper. And you know what? I will not be silenced. Okay? Okay. So let's talk about Ashton Kutcher for a little bit here. He played Steve Jobs in the Apple movie. The Apple biopsy about Steve Jobs. And so to get into character, what Ashton Kutcher did was he followed the Steve Jobs diet, which was essentially eat only apples. And what they told Mr. Steve Jobs, who had pancreatic cancer, was that if you eat apples, you're gonna fucking die. They said that. They said you're gonna fucking die, Steve Jobs. And then who will make our precious iPods and iPhones? And he's like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna cure my own cancer with apples. And they're like, your company is going to cure your cancer? And he's like, nope. The fruit that my company is based on, bitch. And then he ran away. It just ran away really fast out of the doctor's office. They weren't sure where he was going. Can I get out of here? Is that still an option? No. And they couldn't catch him because he was too fast. So anyways, the Apple biopsy came out. Steve Jobs ate apples, died, pancreatic cancer. Horrible epidemic. Maybe he had diabetes, I don't know, because that's, I think, a thing that happens when you have failure of the pancreas or pancreatic cancer or something, is you get diabetes, and you have to syringe insulin into your thigh fat, your fucking disgusting celluloid on your fucking ass. Anyways, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. I don't care. Oh yeah, just a disclaimer. If I'm ever wrong about any dumbass thing that I say, feel free to leave a comment saying, SparkleDart, you're stupid, and this is why you're stupid, and then give me at least 2 paragraphs explaining why what I said was stupid. I would really appreciate that. I would really, really like to see that happen. So please, make it a reality. And listen, if you think that when I talked about Norm of the North earlier, that wasn't interesting, then fuck you. Fuck you for watching my show. Fuck you. And if you did like my Norm of the North rants, leave a comment down below. Say, SparkleDart, please talk more about Norm of the North. I'll do it, I promise. I didn't even watch the whole movie, to be honest. It gave me like some serious Shrek vibes, but like it wasn't as good as Shrek. Not to say that Shrek is a particularly good movie, but I'd wager to say that people only don't like Shrek because of the hilarious memes that came out a couple years ago. What's it called? Shrek is love, Shrek is life. And then people made other hilarious Shrek videos where he's like a serial killer or a rapist or something. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. You're asking the wrong fella about this sort of thing. Oh, by the way, this particular sort of play style, level style, takes a lot of concentration. I should have set that up like the man from Rocky Horror Picture Show, Tim Curry, you know, the guy who played Nigel Thornberry's on the Thornberry program. He's like, smashing love. I was watching Rocket Power recently, and I used to watch that show as a kid. It was one of those shows that was on all the time. So Rocket Power got a lot of like celebrity guest stars on their program or something, like Tony Hawk and Tony Danza and Danzig and I don't know, Rowan Atkinson. They got those guys on there. So because of that, I think because they probably like sprung for like famous like not even voice actors, but like professional skateboarders or snowboarders or athletes. They like got real athletes to go on the show and play themselves, which is cool in its own way, but it's also a Nickelodeon show starring not even starring, but like featuring characters doing things that kids at that age probably don't know anything about. And on top of all of this, it was also a Klasky Chupo program. And, you know, because they make the Rugrats, and the Rugrats looks disgusting as hell. Because the Rugrats was made, they're like, the babies look fine, all the baby characters look fine in the Rugrats, but, like, the adults look like weird mutant, like, I don't even want to say mannequins. They just look like people you'd see if there was a community of people living down in the sewer. The adults from Rugrats would be those very people. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that any further. I feel like what I said originally was sufficient. So anyways, let's go on and talk about the Crash Bandicoot remakes that are coming out. So Activision, a long time ago, purchased the rights to Crash Bandicoot, and they made a bunch of shitty games. They didn't make a single good game. Traveler's Tale made a game called The Wrath of Cortex, which, for all intents and purposes, was a Crash Bandicoot Warped reskin. Like, the levels were different, but the ideas were all exactly the same. There wasn't a single original idea in that whole fucking game. The only original idea I can think of off the top of my head that was in The Wrath of Cortex was they had these, like, you ran around in, like, a hamster ball. You know, like when you got hamsters and you want them to go outside. You put them out in the yard when it's snowing outside so that they can have fun. There's a level like that in Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex, or the Cortex, what's it called? The Wrath of Cortex? I don't remember exactly. I'm not a retard. I'm not a rapist like you. And those hamster ball levels, I would say, are the only ones that were at all original. They weren't fun. They weren't interesting. And they weren't even particularly like cool to look at either. But they were probably the most original levels in the entire game. So take that, I guess, with a grain of salt. I don't exactly know how to describe it any better than that. So please don't look to me for more. I'm not an introspective man, you know. I'm just a guy who plays fucking video games sometimes. I draw pictures. I go on the internet and I troll. I look at anonymous image boards where they talk a lot about Donald Trump and how good of a man he is, and I kind of laugh at the stuff that they post, but sometimes some of the stuff that they say makes sense, and I don't want to admit that, but it's kind of difficult not to when you can't think for yourself like me, you know? I'm not a man who forms his own opinions. I get all my opinions off the internet. I go to reddit.com, I go to Our Politics, and I say, oh, they're talking about how bad of a man Donald Trump is and how much better of a president Hillary Clinton would have been. And that's all they talk about. Even though Hillary lost, they're still trying to like advocate for Hillary. I don't really know what they're trying to accomplish over there. Okay, so let's talk about Reddit for a second. I wouldn't call myself a Redditor. I wouldn't call myself one of those guys, but I do look at it from time to time. Like when I want news, I'll go on there. I'm not super into politics, but sometimes the political scene over the past couple of months, years, not even years, just months. Ever since the elections, ever since like 2 or 3 months before the elections happened, I've kind of been following the politics a little bit more, only because it's just so fucking weird the way that things are going now. It doesn't make sense anymore. The world has been turned upside down. It's been turned upside down, and my mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Belarus." And I'm like, I don't want to go to Belarus. That's all the way in fucking Eastern Europe. That's like a Russian country. And they're like, well, you can kind of speak Russian, so you can go there. I'm like, okay, Belarus probably speaks their own version of Cyrillic language. I don't want to say specifically they got a language like Belarusian, but they might speak, I don't know, like not Swedish, but like Czech or Slovakian or something like that, where they got like backwards R's and little boxes as letters. But to say that Belarus has its own language, I don't see it happening. So where I'm from, there's a prominent like historical Czech village, because where I'm from there is a pretty big Czech population, and I was born there. And you know what? I might have a little bit of that Czech blood inside of me, or around my lips. It's hard to say. Haha, those are jokes. Check it out, jokes.com. I don't really know what I am. Like, for the most part, I'm Italian, but I got some Irish in me too, and I might have some Czech as well. It's hard to say. I'm not going to make claims. I'm not one of those guys who like thinks he's part like Macedonian, or one of those like girls who thinks that they're like a quarter Japanese or something. I'm not one of those people, and I'm not going to say I'm SparkleDart and I'm Czechoslovakian. I'm not going to be that guy. I promise you. But if you know any guys like that, please report them to me. Give me their information, their address and phone number, and I'm going to send the FBI to their house and have them arrested. So, moving on. Is it still possible for me to get the gem? Let's find out. I haven't been. If you've been noticing, I haven't really been trying. Because why try? What's the point of trying when we all know we are lying to ourselves, and you can't keep that smile off your face? That is a fucking lyric from Streetlight Manifesto. I got that in right at the end. Thank you for watching SparkleDart. I'm going to talk more about the Crash Bandicoot remakes in the next episode. If you're looking for it in this episode, one box. Yeah, I fucked up real hard. If you're looking for it in this episode, I don't know what to tell you. Go fuck yourself. Goodbye. Mwah!